Cracks are beginning to show inside number 10. Keir Starmer's once carefully controlled inner circle is now unraveling in full public view. His director of communications, the very strategist who controls his image, has suddenly resigned, leaving Downing Street scrambling for answers. And this comes just days after another senior departure. Is this coincidence, or has something gone very wrong at the heart of the government? Steph Driver, appointed in March this year, has resigned her post as Director of Communications in number 10. She was handpicked to become Starmer's voice, the guardian of the government's message, and the first line of defense in moments of political crisis. Her sudden resignation is shocking, particularly because only days earlier another senior figure, Paul Ossendon, Starmer's Director of Strategy, also stepped down following damaging revelations. Downing Street insists these departures are unrelated and entirely voluntary. But what is the truth behind the polished statements? Driver was no ordinary appointment. She had been at Starmer's side for nearly 5 years, helping to reshape Labour's brand, rebuild its image, and secure the election victory that brought him to power. Replacing her predecessor, Labour veteran Matthew Doyle, she was expected to bring steadiness and innovative thinking into Starmer's communications team. Her departure, so soon after beginning, raises serious doubts about morale and trust within the government. And when you add the resignation of Paul Ossendon, the picture is no longer isolated. It looks systemic. Something, it seems, has shifted inside number 10.
Jane, this is deeply significant. To the ordinary viewer, a resignation might look like routine politics. But in Westminster, the Director of Communications is not just another role. That person dictates how the Prime Minister is seen by the country. Losing that figure is a major destabilizing blow.
That is exactly right, John, and let us remember, this resignation did not happen months or years into the job. Steph Driver barely had time to settle into her new post. That alone speaks volumes. If she, one of Starmer's most trusted allies, cannot remain in the role, it suggests deep divisions in approach, or worse, an environment inside number 10 that is simply unbearable.
And that is the key. People forget that governments are not abstract machines. They are stressful workplaces, full of conflict and power struggles. If insiders are leaving at the very top level, it usually indicates serious disagreements about direction. Remember the turmoil of Boris Johnson's premiership. Once the resignations started, they came in a flood.
Excellent point. We saw that under Boris Johnson with Sajid Javid and Rishi Sunak resigning within hours of each other. That sequence signaled the beginning of the end for Johnson. Now, we are not in the same spot with Starmer yet, but 2 senior resignations in days? That is not something a prime minister can brush off lightly.
And precisely because Starmer sold himself as the man of stability, this matters even more. His argument was that the chaos was over, that Britain had chosen professionalism and calm governance. But these cracks, however polite the statements, tell a different story. It begins to look like chaos creeping back in.
Sometimes, John, the details tell us more than the headlines, do they not? Look at the language in the official statements. Starmer praised Driver's calm counsel and loyalty. Driver herself praised his leadership and promised ongoing support. It all sounds glowing. But that warmth is exactly the concern, because when everything looks too polished, we know there is more beneath the surface.
I could not agree more. Westminster insiders have seen this dance many times. A resignation is dressed up as friendly and planned, while behind the scenes it was poisonous. History is littered with such examples. Alistair Campbell under Blair, Ferguson under Brown. Even Dominic Cummings, who went from trusted advisor to bitter critic of Boris Johnson after being presented initially as leaving by mutual consent.
Indeed, and let us remember who Steph Driver replaced, Matthew Doyle, a man deeply connected to the legacy of Tony Blair. He was seen as the safe pair of hands, but Starmer's reliance on different advisors, each one leaving in difficult circumstances, begins to question the sustainability of his operation. If even Blair's trusted operators cannot stabilize the ship, what does that say about the captain himself?
And it is not just about domestic stability, Jane. External perceptions matter too. Foreign governments look at number 10 and ask, can this leader control his own team? Because if he can't keep advisors in line, how can he negotiate robustly on the global stage?
Let me add another dimension, John. The timing of this could not be worse. Trade negotiations are ongoing. There are tensions both with the European Union and across the Atlantic. The government can ill afford to lose its communications director, the individual tasked with explaining successes to the British public, at a moment of intense international scrutiny.
And speaking of the Atlantic, did you catch the renewed feud between Sadiq Khan and Donald Trump? The mayor of London accuses Trump of Islamophobia, misogyny, and racism. Trump retaliates by branding Khan the worst mayor in the world. At the very time Starmer needs London projecting stability, the capital is once again embroiled in a transatlantic war of words. How must Downing Street view this? Divisions at home, chaos in the communications team, and distractions abroad.
Precisely. And the truth is, for ordinary Britons, especially those who voted for Starmer because they hoped for calm after the chaos, this feels uncomfortably familiar. They wanted professionalism. Instead, they see churn, resignations, distractions, and a government consumed by inner turmoil while real-life problems remain unsolved.
And that, Jane, is the real danger. Political perception. Once the public begins to believe you look unstable, even if policies are working, the damage is done. Cameron knew it. May knew it. Johnson certainly learned it the hard way. Now, it may be Starmer's turn.
So the stakes could not be higher. Either the Prime Minister pulls together his shaky inner circle, or history may remember this moment as the first sign that his promises of stability were built on sand.
So here we are. A prime minister losing 2 senior advisors in a matter of days, a director of communications resigning out of the blue, and a mayor of London sparring with a former president of the United States. The question is simple. Is this all just unfortunate timing? Or are we witnessing the first unraveling of Keir Starmer's Downing Street project? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do not forget to subscribe to Alert View, hit the notification bell, and stay with us for more sharp analysis of British politics.